I had a teacher when I was in high school, in junior high school, who really singled me out and said, I think you're special and I think you're capable of things. And she was really, in many ways, the first person that ever did that for me. And so it was the first I allowed myself to imagine that I had something to offer. And, I think it was a long time before I found other women. But in my 30s, after I had kids, and I think I'd mellowed a little bit, I started seeking out women leaders and learning from them. And Gloria Steinem, Marie Wilson, I was able to connect with women who were really powerful role models for me. And Gloria remains one of my closest friends. Mm. That is such a good question. What do you learn about yourself when you go to these places? Well, I think that you learn to have some perspective about your importance in the world, which is not to say that you're not important, but that you're not more important than anyone else. And that's a really important thing, particularly for an American, because we are an entitled country. And we do imagine that what is good for us is going to have to be what everybody else handles. And you can see the effects of that around the world in a lot of places. And it's distressing to me. So I do come home wondering, is there a way I can be a better contributor to the world? I want to be a citizen of the world. And a lady in the Congo is just as much my next door neighbor as my next door neighbor is. Yes. Yes. Well, I had a joke with my co-filmmaker when our first film came out, and it kind of has this. It's a very distressing story, but it really ends on a high note, and it's kind of hopeful. And at the end, I didn't even realize we'd been working on it for a year and a half, and I looked at Ginny, my partner. I said, "Oh my gosh, we made a Disney movie." I hadn't even realized it. So I'm kind of making Disney movies in a way because they're about what we're all capable of if we choose to rise.
Rich is inside. Okay, good. I want to hear that because for me, rich girl is like rich in spirit, rich in heart. Oh yeah, okay, good. I think it's slowly but surely happening, but also, there's still a lot of sexism, and there's still a lot of women who are expected to, be nude in movies and serve uh, the male fantasy, and I love seeing. I love stories. I love deep stories. I love stories of women all ages. I like, I want to see more women my age. I do. I mean, because that's what I relate to. And women in, 40s, 50s. It's those stories being told, the women, wise women who've lived for a long time, and there's so much depth and experience, and you kind of want to hear those stories too. She still is. And I have her. She's in my life, and she's still in my life, and that is Jane Fonda. I met her when I was 20, and she's still my mentor and my dear friend, and I just love her and worship her. She's a wonderful human being. Uh, don't sell yourself short, ever. Um, Empower yourself by believing in yourself. Believing in yourself, and it's not what is going on in the inside, outside. It's what's going on in the inside. So come from your heart and tell the truth. Always be honest. I think that's really important. I think there's a lot of times that women, girls, and have been taught to lie to satisfy the status quo. You know what I mean? And it's really important to be true to yourself and be honest. Thank you. Thank you. Nice talking to you too.
Thank you so much.
Oh, there have to be more women in front of the camera, more women behind the camera, more women in roles that are not just props or sex objects. I mean, that's kind of so overplayed and so uninteresting and so unfair. I mean, women are 51% of the population, and the representations that we have in media don't reflect that at all. I mean, it's like, maybe there's 0.05% of what a woman is represented in our media, and that 0.05 is determined by a very narrow range of men who have very different sensibilities than what women want to see or think about or do. So it's just needs to change. I learned a little bit more about facing my worst fears. It was a hard year, so that's what I learned, I guess. And that, it's okay. That's part of life, to embrace the beauty and the terror. Don't ever let your insecurities stop you. Just go for it. Don't internalize any of the negativity towards you, yourself, your body that the culture feeds you. That's not you. That's not real. And don't ever let any of that stop you for a minute or let you be any way self-critical. Thank you.
Amazing advice. I really appreciate your time and congratulations and have a wonderful time tonight. Thank you so much.